Hey everybody, welcome to my first look at the Kronshtadt. It is a Tier 8 Premium Soviet cruiser that you obtain from the Fortress campaign. The ship is so new, I don't really have much experience with it. You can see that I do have Ivan Lightful. B.D. Lightful is my commander. He's ranked up to 16. Let's look at some of the other commander options. And those commanders would be Kronshtadt here, which is your accuracy build commander, and then Stepan Markov, which is the agile build commander here. But I didn't like any of those options. I played like one match each and it really wasn't working for me, so I had Ivan B. Delightful, and I believe that this is possibly a Halloween commander, and if he is, you do want to look out for it. It's possible that he was from one of the other events, but I think it's highly likely he was a Halloween commander. So his profile, his base trait is Phantom Bane. Cruiser main battery reload time is decreased, and that will become pretty apparent why that is important here in a few minutes. And the cruiser detectability time after firing the main guns is decreased by 10% at this rank, so that is helpful right there. And the inspirations are Norman Scott. Directed impact, the cruiser's main battery shell grouping is improved, and I have Yamato for right through, which helps the cruiser's armor-piercing shell penetration multiplier, and you do get Citadel hits against Yamatos and Musashis, so it is kind of a potent combination here with Ivan B. Delightful and the Kronshtadt. So as far as the skills, I have Beyond Range, cruiser main battery range is improved. Igniter, chances of the cruiser HE shells causing a fire is improved. And then punch through, the cruiser main battery armor piercing shell damage is improved, as is its shell penetration. And then we have fixated for the last skill. Cruiser main battery shell grouping is improved, as well as its dispersion. I have refill station for the legendary skill, and it further reduces the cruiser's main battery reload time, and the cruiser main battery range is improved when it is within 2 kilometers of an allied ship at legendary rank 2. If you go all the way up to legendary rank 4, that goes up to 3.5 kilometers. Alright, so then the upgrades for the Kronshtadt is a standard aiming systems mod 1. Dispersion of the main battery is improved by 7%. Secondary battery firing range and its dispersion is improved by 5% respectively. And the Kronshtadt does have secondaries. The ship is probably more of a battleship than you would think at first glance here, especially because of that icon there. But as we're going to look at the stats, the Kronshtadt is basically a battleship. And then I have propulsion mod 2 for the second upgrade. Time taken to reach full power is improved by 50%. And then I have concealment system mod 1. Detectability range is improved by 10%, and the incoming fire dispersion is improved by 5% as well. And this is a big deal here, kind of like with the battleships. I did try an agile build and that wasn't really so great, but I may try again after my first look here. So like I said, this is just a first look, and we are looking to experiment with the Kronshtadt and change things around. The last upgrade here is the gunfire control system mod 2. Main battery range is improved by 5%. Here I did not try the main battery mod 3 because even though the reload time would be improved, it would be a detriment to the main battery traverse speed, and I did not want to take that risk. And then for the loadout, you have your normal high explosive shells and armor piercing shells. Consumables is a damage control party, and you do have a radar here, so you can switch between the radar or the AA consumable here. But obviously I am going with radar here. And then we have the repair party consumable here, which will partially restore the ship's HP by repairing any light damage at 355 hit points per second. And here, these are the boosters I'm running, and I did create camo. The ship does come with a Type 9 premium permanent camouflage though, so yeah, so the ship is fully equipped as far as camo and everything. Stats here, hit points 71,050, so this is battleship quality hit points here. This is very close to the hit points of the Missouri, for example. Armor is 15 to 330 millimeters, and we'll be taking a look at that in a second. Torpedo damage reduction is pretty low at 25%. And the artillery, with this setup, it goes all the way out to 18.5 kilometers, reloads every 17 seconds, and before these upgrades, it was right around 25 seconds or so. It was pretty, it seemed like a pretty long reload time, especially for a cruiser. So this is like a battleship with a reload time that is way lower than battleships. It's almost half of a battleship's reload time. Traverse time is still kind of bad at 35 seconds. HE shell damage is 4,200, 25% chance of setting fire, 27% chance of setting fire. Arm-piercing shells have a maximum damage of 9720, and here you can see you have secondaries that reach out to 5.2 kilometers. Other than that, nothing great to speak about on the secondaries. AA defenses, yep, and maneuverability. 35.5 knots. Shift time is 14.9 seconds. When you go total agile build, that will get down below 6 seconds or so. So it does improve quite a bit. Whether you can really make that effective, the agile build that is, with a very bad traverse time on the main guns is kind of a question. When you have an agile build, you want quick turning guns to keep your guns on target. Otherwise, your agile build is ineffective because you're losing lock on your target all the time. Concealment, detectability range by sea is 12.6 kilometers. Range by air is 7.9 kilometers. And if you're firing in a smoke, it is 11.4 kilometers. And here's the armor. The bow and the stern does not look great with 25 to 26 millimeter armor. Let's remove the armor and take a look at the Citadel. And oh boy, you kind of have a problem here in the front and the back on the top there. You definitely get taken out by plunging fire, but you do have some of the thicker armor right below that in the front. So maybe bow tanking is something you might want to experiment with, and underline experiment. I'm not saying it's going to be the best thing to do. And from the side here, the armor is, let me see, the side is 76 to 160. I still got 40,000 HP of damage taken out on me from a broadside from a Musashi though. So even though this is pretty thick armor, it doesn't help you with a broadside with huge caliber guns like the Musashi or the Yamato would bring. But yeah, this is basically what the Citadel looks like. So I will say that you do want to be careful as always. You don't want to go broadside against battleships. You do want to angle, but you are going to have a problem with the front and back of that Citadel there if the shells can get through this kind of like turtleback armor, I guess, right there, and even this right here. So this is pretty good. So in some ways you don't have to worry about that, but if the shells can get through this, you will have very thin armor right here that can possibly be a problem. So let's check out the overview. Ironclad, above average armor thickness, and it is a greater resistance to all forms of armor penetration. All right, well, in spite of that Citadel, let's hope that that is true. That blue area of the Citadel on top was not, didn't make me feel great. Tough, above average HP rating, and that is absolutely true. This is definitely a battleship class HP pool here on this cruiser. So in some ways you want to play it like a battleship. I did check out the battleship commanders, and I didn't find anything that would be suitable. So Lightful was the guy so far. Sure shot, shells with a good ballistic trajectory, maintain velocity, making aiming easier, and You will definitely wipe out cruisers with Citadel hits, and you will Citadel Musashis and Yamatos, as you will see in the upcoming highlight. And the Kronshtadt was a large gunship officially designed as a heavy cruiser, but more of a high-speed, small battleship by technical characteristics. She carried 305 millimeter high-range main guns. Its drawbacks had weak AA defenses. Year of design was 1939, and there were no ships in the series. All right, well, that's it for a very quick look at the setup of the ship and the commander. Let's go out and check out this highlight that I have of the very first battle I had in the Kronshtadt with Ivan B.D. Lightful.
All right, we're in Two Brothers. We're taking a look at the teams here, and of course there is another Kronshtadt on the other team. Matchmaking seems to always do that, especially around update day when people are running the new ships. In any event, not really a big deal. There are a couple Musashis, a couple Zeitons, Mogami. Definitely have to look out for the Musashis. They can definitely cause some pretty extreme damage if you're not really watching it. So yeah, this is my first match in the Kronshtadt with Ivan B. Delightful, and I think that it will really help out to have a quicker reload time of the main guns here. That seemed to be a little bit what was lacking before, as well as actually it seemed like I wasn't getting the damage output that I really would have hoped for. And so here, this guy looks like this is going to be a problem right here. I'm not really sure what's going on, but we will not be having any spotting in this match from our destroyer, it looks like. So we are definitely on our own as far as spotting goes. I kind of think that he has an idea that some of the red team are going to come up the gap there. And so I think he's waiting for the red team ships to come through the gap. So ultimately, it's not a big deal. There is the lone destroyer on the red team. He is all the way over on the other side there, so we don't really have to worry about him. We have the Ochakov right here, and we are just waiting for some of these battleships. There is a brave teammate over there in the cruiser. I'm not sure what cruiser it is, but he went and ventured out like that. I'm preferring to stay near the base here, and I'm just waiting for the Kronshtadt, the red team Kronshtadt, to give me a good aim here. Right now he is hugging that island, so I do not have a good shot on him. And here's Musashi. Looks like he's coming up. The range of these main guns is pretty good, right around 18-19 kilometers. There's a Shapiev. All these guys are within range, but they are staying behind cover, as it were. Now the Kronshtadt is starting to move back, and now it looks like I have a shot. So I'm going to take a shot at him with my armor piercing. And we get a minor hit for it in 972. And here's this Musashi making a run. And this looks like a pretty good target. Looks like a good aim right there. And he still doesn't see me, so it must be the island that is keeping cover for me. But now he definitely spots me because I am within the detectability range of the Musashi, and there is a Citadel hit right off the bat. You can see all those hits. So 6 hits right off the bat out of 9 guns. So the ship is pretty accurate, and like I said, we did get a Citadel hit on the Musashi, but here I'm turning around. I don't want to give these ships my broadside. It's 4-on-2, it looks like, and most of those guys, it looks like, are shooting at me. So yeah, so this is what you get for going out here in a new ship, or maybe running the community contributor banner on your player name. I don't know, but these guys are definitely, I definitely have 3 people targeting me. So yeah, though the ship did turn well enough to where I really will be considering an agile build here, because that was a pretty good maneuver. It seemed like it was tilting even as it was turning, so we'll just have to see if this ship can do an agile build or not. But yeah, so I am turning away from that main gun hit. Now I can start turning back over the other way because he has like 30 seconds to reload. And I did decide to go with HE because he is pretty much nose on. And every time he's shooting at me, I am trying to turn in the other direction so that I give him my minimal broadside angle, or maximum broadside angle. Here his guns are pointing away, so I do have some clear shots at him, it looks like. Enough to worry about him taking me out here. So we're just going to nail him with some of these HE shells, see if we can start a fire. And all right, so we do get a few more hits. No fires yet, but we are spotted by the red team aircraft. One of the red team aircraft. Could be from the Musashi. And yeah, so this guy is now pointing in our general direction. So we definitely want to turn away. And again, these steering gears, even though they were kind of slow, it does seem to be doing the trick here. So holy cow, I can't believe I did an agile maneuver with these really slow steering gears and got out of the way of that Musashi's barrage. But the Musashi has decided to back up. He's had enough here, and now he is starting to get targeted by many of the blue team. And we are up quite a bit in the match actually at the moment, so things are looking good as far as the overall win at this point anyway. And the Musashi definitely is not targeting us at all. So we are going to come around here and keep going at full speed. As long as he's not targeting us, we're just going to keep going and take some broadside shots at him.
Our team has taken the lead.
And I did check, and Ivan B.D Delightful is a Halloween commander. Hopefully he will be available in the store during the 2022 Halloween event. If he is, I don't know. I kind of think you want to consider him for the cruiser commander here and match him up with the Kronshtadt. Maybe that's why they put the Kronshtadt in here, because the commander might be available right around the time when everybody's going to be getting the ship. So now the Musashi is backing up, and he's going to be exposing his broadside to us here quite a bit. So we're going to have some great shots at that Musashi. We're up to 39,000 damage, 40,000 damage on 44 main gun hits. And now we are just going to go straight ahead and go toward the base here and get behind that island ridge over to the right, which is blocking us. It's between us and the Musashi there. And since I'm able to get shots at that Musashi, I'm just going to stay over in this area and just keep taking round after shots with him. And now I've switched over to armor piercing as long as he's giving me his broadside. And these guns really do reload pretty quick. So, yeah, so even though they're slow for a cruiser, they are fast for a battleship. And this isn't really a battleship, but it sure plays like one as far as I'm seeing right here at the moment. And this guy is definitely going to go. He really doesn't have much left. Looking pretty thin. And let me see if we're going to get him on this round. No, not quite. We are up to 55,000 though, and he has a sliver of health left. As I recall, when we come around this island, we're basically going after that Musashi to try to finish him off. And we're going to look through in the gap here to see whether we have any shots at anybody. But that Musashi had just a sliver of health when he went behind the islands. And when he comes out here, he's going to have a lot more health left. So he had a heal consumable that he turned on. I don't think there's any other teammates over there that could help him with will to rebuild. But that would be another way that that Musashi would miraculously recover all that health like that. But this is just, boy, this guy is just a sitting duck right here. And we took him out with a Citadel, a single hit. And it was a Citadel, and we are up to 66,000 damage. That other Musashi isn't looking so great. And we're just going to look to come around the edge here and go toward the red base and try to capture the base if we can't take out the remainder of the team. And yeah, so in this first look match, we have not run our radar yet. So at this point, we haven't needed the radar, but we'll definitely have to keep that in mind as we keep playing the Kronshtadt and make sure that we use the radar when there is a ship in range. And the thing about this radar is that it has 11.5 kilometer range or so. So as far as I recall, this is the longest radar range of any ship in the game, certainly any ship in my port. I don't recall any ships having more than an 11 kilometer range, and this one has, as I said, 11.5 kilometers or so. So you definitely want to keep that in mind as you're playing the Kronshtadt. Is the radar range is extreme. I think the duration is 20 seconds, but still you want to not forget about that radar. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. It is easy to play these matches and not even think about the radar, but you do have one, and you just want to be mindful of that. So here's the red team Kronshtadt and a ZF6. That is the only guy. So there were some guys here, so maybe that Musashi did get some will to rebuild help from these guys. There's no real way to tell at this point. And now the Kronshtadt is going broadside here, I guess to avoid those torpedoes, and this is definitely the wrong thing to do because we're going to take a full salvo at the Kronshtadt. He's about half health, a little less than half health, and we take 2 Citadels off of him. Now we're now up to 89,000 damage. So this is a pretty good showing for Ivan B. Lightful in the very first match with that commander in the Kronshtadt. Yeah, if you don't have Ivan B. Lightful, I guess you would want to try Kuznetsov, the accuracy build commander. On the other hand, you know, look at how this ship is moving right here. I really am going to have to go back and try the agile build commander. Leverov, I think, is who that is. And yeah, this is really moving around pretty good here. So yeah, as long as I have Delightful running this good, and I'm kind of like stabilized on this setup right here for my prime setup at the moment for the ship, I do think I am going to go with the agile build and see what I can do with that. But I will tell you that during this match, Ivan B. Lightful was only rank 14, and I had such confidence in that commander that I ended up ranking him up to rank 16 legendary 2, as you saw in the commander setup there. So the battle's over with. So yeah, that was a big time victory in the Kronshtadt. Very first match with Ivan B. Lightful. 308,000 credits, 91,000 battle performance damage on 69 main gun hits, a destroyed ship, and 4 Citadels. That was awesome to get all those Citadels on that Musashi and 2 on the Kronshtadt. So that yellow armor, that cruiser grade armor, doesn't really help you out, and you will get taken out from Citadel hits here. And yeah, so we got some big time XP there because we're running all those boosters. Well, that's it for my first match into Kronshtadt with Ivan B. Delightful. Hopefully you got to see a little bit about what the ship is about. For sure, the ship will devastate cruisers and battleships like the Musashi, as you saw. And I'm probably going to want to experiment around a little bit with an agile build just for grins. This is the Jaguar, and I'll see you on the high seas. Thanks for watching. Hit subscribe if you like it.